2 days, two very different couples. One, Catherine and William, completely focused on their duty above anything else, their country, their Commonwealth, their people. The other, the fake royals, now so intent on making money because they are on the bones of their ass that they will take the coin from corporates in stunts, I think, which actually continue to disgrace the royal family. As according to Taz posted, Psycho. In the new Disney documentary, they talk about favourite rides at the park. Meghan tells the reporter Harry's favourite is Space Mountain. She chose that ride because that's the one she practiced her Diana cosplay the hardest for in the mirror. And Tash, so good to have you, by the way. We've missed you. I know you've been away these past few weeks, so brilliant to have you back. And we've got so much to talk about, seriously. But I think these conversations even more important because have you noticed the mainstream media in the UK, because they've done this total 180 on William and Catherine while supporting Harry and Meghan, have not spoken about this ridiculous Disney stunt, the ridiculous Diana cosplay, and just how bad things are getting now that Harry and Meghan are trying to ingratiate themselves at the royal family at the same time as they sell their souls and effectively now take money to appear in infomercials. I need you to do something for me right now. It is free, it is easy, it is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet.
Yes, I think there's a lot of them, Dan, that are now eating their own hats. I mean, talk about another own goal that this couple do. The media plus Harry and Meghan's PR team, specifically Harry's, have been in overdrive trying to gaslight the public. Look, this is Harry. This is the fun Harry. Harry really wants a reconciliation. Harry's remembering what it's like to actually be a member of the royal family where you uplift others. And then, of course, a matter of days later, before his bottom is barely warm on the California couch, not only has the Guardian interview come out, again, which has just, I'd imagine, embarrassed all of these people that have been defending him, saying he wants a reconciliation. He's just doubled down. But this is pretty trashy and tacky. And we are seeing why they took the children to Disneyland. It's all part of a big freebie, a big advert, and who better to take than their very own little prince and princess.
But Tash, there is a cover-up going on. There is a major cover-up going on with the mainstream media because you raise the Guardian interview. There were so many landmines within that, but perhaps none more so than the fact that Prince Harry ignored British government advice to go and meet Volodymyr Zelensky when he had been expressly told not to. And from the mainstream media, it's like nothing to see here. And Tash, for me, why this development is so significant, and of course, don't get me wrong, it's much more egregious what he says about standing by all of his comments in regards to the late Queen and the current Queen and Catherine and William. But what the complete inability to even follow specific instructions from the British government shows me, Tash, is that this man is a traitor and he is treacherous in his behaviour. And no wonder William, and we saw it, by the way, outside the Duchess of Kent's funeral yesterday, no wonder William is so damn ropeable because he warned everyone in the media, within his family, in the British establishment. And he was ignored, Tash, and he's still being ignored, apart from by people like us.
Harry has proved yet again that he's a diplomatic liability. He's not just a liability towards the royal family because he does use his titles. This isn't simply Prince Harry. This is the Duke of Sussex. He does behave like somehow he is still serving the monarchy, serving the crown. Of course, we don't know that, but you see other news outlets, even in Ukraine, I saw some headlines come up saying Harry's there representing the UK. And he's not representing anybody other than himself. He was there purely as a representative of the Invictus Games to team up with superhumans. And the fact that this is the second one that I can think of at the top of my mind, as well as when he was in Canada and he met with, I think it was the Fourth Nations, the Fifth Nations, forgive me. But he said that he was going to open conversations to do with a lot of the issues surrounding that. And that's a conversation between the King, the Canadian government. And I just find him completely toxic on a level when it comes to his family. But that's small fry when you think of the problems he could potentially cause on the bigger picture, on a global stage. He was told not to see Zelensky, and he's still gone and done it and posed for lots of pictures. And he's still trying to pretend that he is important.
I mean, Tash, what did you make of this footage, by the way? William, and by the way, I'm not blaming him. I'm genuinely not blaming him for a second, because I feel his anger, Tash.
I think not only is he trying to deal with the fact that he has been proved right to steer clear of his younger brother, he was also stuck next to Prince Andrew, who, again, much like Harry, is using the royals to try and improve his credibility. The reason why Andrew was stood alongside William and everyone trying to look jovial and laughing, the king, is because he knew the public would be watching exactly the same tactics that Harry's doing. And it's in hope, if I'm seen with the royals, if I'm seen interacting with the royals, then I get a little bit of that royal stardust back. It's not going to happen for Andrew. It's not going to happen for Harry. But poor Prince William, I do feel in this scenario, exactly, he was really stuck there. You could see he was clenching his jaw. He has to tolerate Andrew because Andrew is still part of the family. He doesn't have to tolerate Harry in any way, shape or form, because I don't believe Harry is going to get his foot behind the palace wall, potentially even with his father again, after he has yet again betrayed his father's trust.
And I mean, you could even see it, Tash, with Charles. And of course, there is a lot of reporting at the moment about just how tense things are between father and son. And Tash, again, I might sound like a broken record here, but I do not blame William. Because can we just think about what's happened over the past week? Because again, I feel like people are just totally trying to move on and ignore this. Charles ignores William, gives this massive olive branch to Prince Harry. Now, sure, the meeting was nothing like Harry's team tried to make out. It was formal. It was fast. He had to drive through the visitor's entrance. There was someone else in the room. But the fact is, Charles still went against William in order to, in some way, provide this olive branch to Harry and allow Harry to at least have a chance. And within 72 hours, Tash, he has totally blown it with that Guardian interview, despite making absolute promises to Charles that he would not talk about the meeting. He did. He may not have sat down and said, oh, this is what my father said, but he said, the next year is going to be all about my dad, suggesting, Tash, that the king's health is even worse than we had previously thought. So he had his chance, he blew it, but because the mainstream media in this country have been so craven and pathetic and desperate for some reason to facilitate this reunion, he's getting another free pass.
I'm on the fence when it comes to, well, in fact, I have a bit of a different opinion, I think, to some people with regards to Prince William perhaps feeling frustration towards his father. There's a bit where I think Charles was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. There was, because of Harry in his interview with the BBC in May, when he started the nonsense, I don't know how long my father has to live. And then he also confirmed to the interviewer that his father was not speaking to him. Up until that point, it was just pure speculation. But then from that moment, Harry had confirmed that he was being ignored. And it kicked up a lot of people saying that's not, Charles is the head of the Church of England. He should forgive his younger son. He should do this. And I think at a time when the monarchy is not doing so great, and I do believe it's King Charles that I mean, they were big shoes to fill after his mother. And I think there is a lot of things that are going on which have turned certain people against things that King Charles perhaps talks about, and the things that he associates with. And I just really can't help but feel that he tried to meet with Harry, and it was done in such a way it was little more than a slot-in business meeting, because it stopped that in its tracks. Harry can't say I'm being ignored anymore. People can't say the king is being cruel anymore. And he did it, like you said. I mean, Harry basically came in through the tradesman entrance. So he's seen him. He listened to him. It was brief. It was perfunct. He was in and he was out. And Harry has completely blown it all up. So if the king now goes forward and says, right, I gave him a chance, people can't really turn against him, because he's still going to continue to ignore him. I think even before I came onto the channel today, I saw US Weekly, we know is a proven, a chosen media outlet by Harry and Meghan. They apparently have an exclusive that it was an emotional. There were lots of hugs. Harry cried when he saw his father. So this is just the beginning, really. They're leaking like a tap already. So whether Charles did it as something calculated to shut it down, or whether the king did it a pure moment of, it is his son, he does have cancer, he's going to give him a chance, it has proved that Harry cannot be given any more chances. He cannot be trusted.
And then maybe Charles can sort of say, okay, well, I tried this. Yeah. It's going to be perfunctory. But obviously, the sad thing is, Tash, and we know this for a fact, what Harry and Meghan have and what they continue to use as a weapon is Charles's grandchildren. And I think that's twisted.
It is very twisted. It's emotional manipulation. It was something that they did from the very beginning to try and manipulate the public. It wasn't just Meghan saying, as she sat there on Oprah's couch trying to muster up one tear left eye. It was the fact that she mentioned that they were unkind about her pregnancy because she was obviously a biracial woman, how brown the baby might be. They did that stinker of a lie, which I personally believe it's a big lie, because they wanted the thought of the children to emotionally manipulate members of the public. And in large, it did work for a large number of people, because they thought, oh gosh, it's bad enough they're being racist towards Meghan, but to a baby, how horrific. So Harry and Meghan have used those children from the very moment that she got pregnant.
I know. And I mean, Tash, it is just worth, by the way, given you've mentioned it, looking into some of those source quotes to Us Weekly, because what's so extraordinary about it is that we know, again, I like to be transparent and I like to explain. The editor of Us Weekly is a guy called Dan Wakeford. He used to be the editor of People magazine. He has a direct relationship with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle through People magazine. Us Weekly has tried to become the new People magazine and sort of like a very soft publication now that only does things that celebrities like. So I just like giving that context, because we know that these quotes are coming directly from Harry and Meghan. And if we just come to the article here, Prince Harry still has tension with Prince William and Kate Middleton. There's emotional distance. Well, no sugar, Sherlock. But then this is the source, Tash, and we know who the source is, okay? Because it's literally Harry and Meghan. We definitely do. There is still ongoing tension with William and Kate, a source exclusively shared with Us Weekly. They are deeply hurt by the public disclosures, memoir revelations, and interviews and criticisms of their role, which they perceive as breaches of trust that require significant time to heal from, which is why they aren't there yet. Okay, well, I guess that is some reflection. And then they're trying to say, Tash, that the reason there wasn't a meeting was because their schedules were not aligned while Harry was in London. I think there are a lot of other reasons for it. Then the source goes on to say, there has been no direct communication between aides like there has been with Charles. William and Kate haven't initiated or responded to outreach from Harry at all. They do need more time. There's emotional distance between the three of them. Again, understatement of the year. There are lingering resentments of past conflicts, including comments from Harry about Kate in his book. It left William guarded and needing more time to process before a face-to-face with Harry. By the way, these quotes are coming from Team Harry because they are describing Catherine as Kate, which is something that Harry and Meghan do, Tash, to try and belittle her. But they're so delusional. They are so delusional, Tash, because it ends with the source saying there is still hope for a meeting between the brothers during the upcoming holiday season, but it's still too soon to tell. They will see how things pan out with what Charles and Harry discussed. One of the things was to keep his mouth shut and not talk to the press. And for Meghan to do the same once William and Kate can trust again, they may be able to come back into his life. I mean, Tash, there is just an extraordinary level of delusion.
The most striking development is the claim that details from Harry's private meeting with King Charles have found their way into the media. Reports suggest that Harry was deeply emotional during the encounter and that personal moments from the meeting have now become part of the public conversation. Whether those details were shared directly, indirectly, or through sources close to the couple, the perception is what matters. For many royal observers, the concern is that private family interactions continue to become public narratives. And that creates a serious problem. Because if members of the royal family believe that confidential conversations could later appear in the press, it becomes much harder to rebuild trust. What makes this story even more interesting is the contrast that commentators are drawing between Prince William and Princess Catherine on one hand and Harry and Meghan on the other. William and Catherine have recently been associated with official engagements, public service, and royal duties. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan continue to focus on commercial projects, documentaries, interviews, and media partnerships. Supporters would argue that they are simply building an independent life. Critics argue that the royal connection remains central to their public brand. And that difference in public image has become one of the defining themes of the post-royal era. It is the belief that private family matters have repeatedly become public content. Whether through interviews, documentaries, memoirs, or media briefings, that pattern has deeply damaged relationships. Prince William's position is also receiving renewed attention. Recent public appearances have shown him carrying significant responsibilities within the monarchy while supporting Catherine through a challenging period. Commentators argue that William's priority is protecting the institution and his immediate family. That does not necessarily mean reconciliation is impossible. But it does suggest that any future relationship with Harry would require a level of confidentiality that many believe has been absent in recent years. The emotional distance between the brothers may be difficult to bridge if the underlying concerns remain unresolved. The alleged leak of details from Harry's meeting with King Charles has once again highlighted the central dilemma facing the royal family. Can there be reconciliation without trust? Can private conversations remain private? And is there still a path back to a genuine family relationship after years of public conflict? Those are the questions that continue to dominate this story. What do you think? Do you believe these reports will make any future reconciliation more difficult, or is the media attention simply an unavoidable part of royal life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest royal updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.